Hello, everyone. We'll just give it a minute or so to let everybody into the class. I hope that you all can hear me and see me. And I'm just going to open up the chat so that everybody can write a comment if you have a question or a comment, or if you want to let me know where you're joining us from while everybody kind of files in, that would be fantastic. I would really love to know where you're joining me from, because tonight we're going to be learning about energy. And oh, Andrea, yay, all the way from Maui. That is awesome. Hi, River. Amazing. Hi, Georgette, you're all the way in Mexico. Ontario, Canada, Samira. Kelly, all the way from way out east. New York, Rochester, New York. Marilyn, Dada, oh, nice to see you on. Thank you. Fernie, BC. This is wonderful. Milton, Ontario. So we got Canada covered from coast to coast. That is amazing. I love to hear where everyone is joining from, because I think that everyone brings an ingredient into what we are going to be creating here tonight and tuning into. I'm going to teach you a little bit about energy and how you can decipher what's going on in the world and what's happening around you. But it's beautiful to see. So a lot of people are from Calgary, Airdrie, Sutton, Ontario, St. Albert. Hi, Cindy. Susan in Ottawa. This is wonderful. I love it. Miami, Florida. Esme, thank you. And Washington, Renton, Washington. I haven't heard of that place before, Jessica. So welcome. Thank you. I always find it fascinating to know where you guys are from, because like I was saying, we all have our own unique energetic resonance. And when I'm doing these online classes, it's literally, when I close my eyes and tune into the quantum field, it's literally like I see you as a pillar of light wherever you are. I'm sure you've seen those pictures where it shows the world and then all these, beams of light coming out of the different places. That's how I see it when I close my eyes and see where we're all connecting from. And when we do our meditation at the end of the class, you'll feel that connection. Because what I want to do here tonight is to be able to create sacred space so that you can understand your energy, so that you can understand what the heck is going on in this world without second guessing what you know to be true. Because I guess that's the first thing in understanding energy, is to learn to have faith within yourself that what is coming in, what your body is receiving, what your mind is perceiving, you're not wrong. So for anyone who's just found me and is brand new, I'm a professional psychic medium and remote viewer. And I do track and trace missing people from all over the globe. Doesn't matter where you are. If I see a picture of a person, I can tune in. And as a remote viewer, what I'm tuning into is the energetic signature of that person. Even when I'm doing a psychic reading and a person's sitting across from me, I can read them closing my eyes. And sometimes I do that because I read for a lot of police officers, and they'll come in and try and stonewall me, where it's complete expressionless. They won't smile, they won't let on, if you're right or you're wrong or anything like that. So when I come across people like that, and that's cool, to me it doesn't matter. I'm just going to tell you what Spirit has to say, right? But when a person comes in like that, I'll close my eyes and I'll start reading their energy, their field of energy that is around their body. Now, what makes up your energetic signature, your unique energetic signature? It's comprised of many different layers of you. It's comprised of your, of course, DNA, which is a conglomeration of every ancestor that has ever come before you. There's little tiny remnants of them within your energy signature. So you do represent a certain line of people or a certain line of souls that have come before you. So your DNA, your how you eat. If we're eating crappy food, guess what? Our cells are not going to be vibrating at a high resonance. And that affects our body and our biofield. Same thing with disease. Now, I'm going to tell you something that is fascinating. So I was a palliative oncology nurse for 13 years before I jumped over and changed careers and did this. And it was actually not the medical field that healed me. It was alternative medicine. So I left nursing because my legs gave out from underneath me. And I ended up with really bad nerve damage in my legs. I have something called erythromelalgia where my sodium channels don't close. So apparently I have too much light in my body, too much electricity in my body. It's the weirdest thing. So I go around shocking people all the time. And my hair is usually staticky. So I have some weird energy all on my own. But it created neuropathy in my legs. And I came across something called Rife therapy. And that works on vibrations and frequencies. It's the most fascinating science. I won't get too heavy into it, but let me tell you, it works. And how it works is it targets the ailment by using its own vibrational frequency at it. And then it heals it, blows it up if it's a virus or a pathogen, or it heals it, depending on which frequency you're using to support the healing of that ailment. So I learned a lot by using Rife therapy and realizing that vibrations, it is like what Nikola Tesla says, the secrets of the universe belong to the ones who believe it and understand energy, frequency, and vibration. It's true. It's very true. Our cells vibrate at very unique resonances. So do our words. So do our actions. So does every single thing you see in this universe. And so I thought, okay, if we can heal ourselves using vibration, we can heal our trauma as well using vibration and energy, sound waves. If you haven't come across binaural beats, I'll put that up in the chat. Binaural beats. If you haven't come across binaural beats, look them up. It is frequency therapy that can be used for so many different things, different ways to heal. There's ones for study and concentration, insomnia, cellular repair, astral traveling and lucid dreaming, because they're different frequencies that actually entrain the brain to give you the desired response. So I started using binaural beats. Chris, I love that you use them. They definitely work. One of my sons really struggled in school. And when I heard about binaural beats, I was like, okay, let's use the study and concentration ones. Let's try that. So we played it in the background when he was studying for school and doing his homework. We noticed a huge increase in his grades. So parents out there, definitely use binaural beats in the background of the house when your kids are studying. And Veronica says, yes, I use them and they're really effective. I love it. The other thing that I started doing was back years ago when my kids are all in their 20s now, but years ago when they were teenagers and fighting after school and getting on each other, that's when when Tino I think was in grade 9 or 10, I came across them. And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna play that music in the house, have it playing in the speakers. We've got the speaker system in the ceiling. Completely changed everybody. I left binaural beats on 24/7. When we go to sleep, I'm one of those sleepers, light sleepers, so I had to turn it down. So I turned it down real low where I couldn't hear it on the main floor, sleep peacefully upstairs. I'm telling you, everything felt it. Even when it's on super low, your brain is picking that up. So if you want to change the vibrational energy within your home, start using binaural beats. There's some excellent ones on YouTube, and feel them. Some are more effective than others. Yes, Kelly, 528 hertz is the vibration of love. Absolutely. 432 hertz is the vibration of healing. What's the other one? 963 is joy and vitality. And you can really feel it. And yes, someone mentioned headphones for the best experience. Absolutely. And make sure the left ear's in the left ear, right ear's in the right ear, because they do produce a different tone in each ear. So that does matter if you're listening to it with headphones. But I noticed it just as effective when we played it in the house. Like, I'm telling you, even my plants started growing differently. It's pretty phenomenal. So let's talk about the vibration of our words as well. Because one of the easiest ways that I found to raise your vibration is through singing, chanting, praying. It's the power of our words. How do we speak? Because there is a simple 4-letter word, love or hate. Both 4 letters. But one is amazing and uplifting and creative. The next one is destructive. And you can feel them when you tune in to the words. You can literally feel the vibration of love versus the vibration of hate. Well, what do you think I'm looking for when I'm looking for a missing person? Because guess what? Your words do stick to you. They absolutely do. That's why when you're yelling at someone, you feel like crap. Well, I don't know, some people, like to get it off their chest, but I don't feel very good if I'm yelling at a person. And it haunts me. It sticks with me. My words will stick with me, right? If you're living consciously aware of your actions, you're consciously aware of your words, right? So we have to take responsibility for what comes out of our mouth. So our words and our voice can be used to uplift. So can another person's voice and words. So if you are feeling completely fed up, you need an immediate change of energy. What music are you listening to? What words are you repeating over and over and over in your head? So I stopped listening to the radio years ago, and the reason why was because I noticed the lyrics are either absolutely ridiculous and stupid, like, no thank you, I don't feel like polluting my sacred space with those kind of lyrics. No. Songs, they can serve a purpose. For example, you look at Taylor Swift. All of her music, or a lot of her music, is based on pain. It's based on her being ticked off at an ex-boyfriend. So she wrote it into a song. Well, guess what you're vibrating with when you like that song and you're jamming to it and it gets stuck in your head on repeat? You're jamming to her pain, her story, her pain. And guess what you're doing? You're carrying it for her. And chances are, if you're attracted to one of the painful songs, it's because you're resonating with it. What's going on in your life that's making you attracted to that vibration of information? Because that's what a song is. It's literally a vibration. It can bring you up or it can tear you down, make you feel heavy, right? Same thing with, and we have to be very careful. You want to raise your vibration in this time, you have to protect your senses, your five senses. And what you're listening to, it's so unbelievably important that you be careful with that. Even right now, with that Jeffrey Dahmer documentary that everyone is talking about, don't invite that energy into your consciousness. Right now, we are at a huge spiritual war. We're in the middle of it. You guys, we were in it since 2019. And it's time that we wake up and realize what's happening around us. This is why so many people are being activated right now. This is a huge class that I have right now with you guys. There's so many people signed up. Why do you think that is? Because people are seeking the light right now. They're seeking an activation within their soul. They're seeking. And trust me, when you seek, you will find. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's not in this 3D matrix that we think is so real. You guys may have heard me say that before, but we need to wake up to realize that this reality is not permanent. We are only here to plant seeds, to make a difference, to do the work, to clear up our bloodlines, which is another thing I'll talk about, because that's another thing we've come as light workers. If you're a person who's awoken to your own healing, chances are you're looking around at your family and going, how did I come in through you guys? Well, maybe you came in through that bloodline as different to be the difference, to heal the intergenerational pain. So epigenetics. Epigenetics is the science of intergenerational trauma. When you look back at the survivors of World War II, you will see their grandchildren and great-grandchildren still carry the genetic markers of the trauma from when their great-grandparents were in Auschwitz or were being tortured or starved, and they survived. We do carry intergenerational trauma within us. And sometimes that's why there's inexplicable triggers, or things that anger us, and we feel unjust about certain things. This is why you can't tell someone who's experienced deep trauma to just get over it. It becomes into their cells and a part of their story. So how do we rewind that? How do we heal from that intergenerational trauma, right? Just because my mom died of breast cancer doesn't mean that I need to. But I also know when I'm looking at my genetic line, what her relationship with her mother was like. So I know in this lifetime I need to heal and forgive my own mother. Forgiveness is so unbelievably powerful. It is. Even on the other side, when we die, we go through that past life review, and we will see it through the eyes of every single person we've ever interacted with, ever punched, or ever hurt. We're going to see our own fists flying in our own face. Now, the ones that we've loved, we've uplifted, we've forgiven, it'll feel euphoric. We will feel the love amplified beyond our wildest imaginations. We will feel it. That is our gift. That is our divine right that we are entitled to when we do the work. Because right now, while we're in these human vehicles, we have a lot of people that we need to wake up and a lot of people that we need to heal. So it's got to start with you. So what are you hanging on to that you're finding hard to shift? Right now, I want you to stop and think about it. How hard is it for you to shift out of it? Now, instead of how hard is it, let's look at how easy it is to shift out of it. How easy it is to let go when you're ready. Because sometimes pain serves a purpose. And I mean that. Sometimes it's vindicated. It's for a reason, because you're supposed to get up and fight the good fight, or stand in your power and speak your truth. But when it starts eating your gut, that becomes an energy that is not beneficial to you. That's when it needs to stop. When it's no longer about standing in your power and speaking your truth, right? But even with standing in your power and speaking your truth, how do you feel? Does it tie you into a knot? Or is there the act of forgiveness behind it? Because we can be strong with love in our hearts and strength in our gut. It doesn't need to be sitting in our bellies and on our chest and our shoulders. And the organ that we hurt the most with a lack of forgiveness, it's our liver. It's our liver. And that's why you see a lot of alcoholics who drown their sorrows, because they can't forgive. They can't let go. So they hold it in their liver. And then they try to drown it. Not beneficial. So these behaviors and hurts, these behaviors come out of the hurts. So if we look at what is driving us, what is our motivation in this life? Is it hurt? Or is it love and faith and trust? What motivates you in the morning? And if you say, I don't know, or nothing motivates me, this is where you know that changes need to happen. And understanding your own energy, it starts with that. It really does. Because you need to understand why you're feeling this way. And if you're feeling heavy, why do you feel heavy? Is it yours? Or are you carrying the weight of the world on you? What's actually happening there, right? Because there's a lot of very heavy energy out in the world right now. So let's talk about protection for a second. What do we do? What do I do? Because I'm constantly in a cesspool of everybody's energy. Well, I create sacred space, first off. I never do a reading outside of my office. I meditate inside of my meditation pyramid, which we're going to do later. And we're going to go into the quantum field and do a little bit of changing the disruptor patterns. That's what my angels told me. I know that sounds weird. But whatever is sparky and not working with your energy, we are going to smooth it, soothe it, and bring peace. Because it's time to recalibrate not just our energy, but our lives, so that we can affect change wherever we go, because it's a ripple effect. But what do we do? What do I do for protection? I pray a lot. I honestly pray a lot. I have a bit of a potty mouth. But man, I pray. I do. I pray for people. When I say I'm going to pray for you, I pray for you. I usually stop, drop, and do it in that moment because sometimes my memory is not that great. But if I say I'm going to pray for you, I do pray for you. I hold space for you because I know other people pray for me too. And it's the most beautiful, beautiful thing in the world when you know you're being prayed for, right? You guys, no one has, how do I explain this? There's no definitive answer on what's going to fix your life, a stream of miracles that is going to come in and fix everything. You got to create it. And I find that prayer is the most creative stream that I can tap into. It's going straight to the source and asking, can you help me out with this? Can you heal this person? Can you bring this into reality? And the coolest thing is, when you have faith It comes. It does. It finds a way to you. I want you to look back at your life right now and really look. Didn't you always get what you wanted pretty much? Where there's a will, there's a way. If you wanted something bad enough, it materialized. Do you think that was fluke? How do you think that happened? You created it. You found a way, right? The universe will be there to support you and open the doors of opportunity that are already there waiting for you. Understand that this life is like a book that you're constantly writing, constantly. And just like Steve said in the comments, thoughts become things. Just like every great opportunity that you noticed, every invention that has ever, materialized in this 3D world, it came in through a thought, an idea, an inspiration. Something told you, go do this quick. Go talk to this person. Something gave you that little, right? Well, one thing that I noticed when I pray, it clears the channels so I can hear that voice instructing me on my path. It makes it a lot easier for me to know which opportunity to welcome in and which one to refuse. And even when it comes to unanswered prayers, let's talk about that. You pray, and it doesn't happen because sometimes the universe knows better than you. You have no idea what you have been saved from when things don't go your way. And if there's one thing that I know at this point in my life, is that nothing could have been different. Nothing can be different than what it is. Because when you look back and see how all of the little things led up to the big things, you're going to see how you did have answered prayers the whole way. You'll see how everything lines up to your next big adventure, big window of opportunity, your soulmate that you're going to meet. It's all in divine alignment. It all has to be. We're all playing a part on this earth. And me sitting here teaching you tonight these little ways that you can tune in deeper and get to know yourself, understand yourself on that deeper level, it's all meant to happen. You prearranged this. What drew you to this class? So that you can have that deeper understanding of yourself. You don't know, and even I don't know, what I'm going to say here tonight that will stick with you, that will stand out, that you will use, put in your pocket and use later. Or it might not make sense today, but in 5 years from now, you'll remember my words and go, oh my God, I get it now. What drew you to this class? Predestiny. I do believe in that. I believe that we meet certain people in our lives at certain times so that we can learn from them, grow from them. Now, how do we understand what they're not saying? So, I'll explain that one. I just grab my notes. I have a whole pile of notes that I keep forgetting to read. And they're really good bits of information that I really want to share with you guys. Okay, so let's talk about that. How to read people's energy and understand what they're saying without words. I think I touched a little bit on that, but let me explain this. So everybody has that resonance, personal resonance, energetic signature that's totally unique to them. The inside, the outside, everything from how you wear your hair, your clothes, if you're neat, if you're tidy, if you wear dirty shoes, it speaks. It speaks. And I'm not talking about judgment. It becomes an energy. It becomes an energy. So when a person is in a bad mood, they don't need to say anything. It's literally like prickles in their auric field. It extends out. So I'm sure you've been in the same room with a coworker that was in a crap mood, or a spouse, that was in a crap mood, and you walked right by them and it was like, ugh, right? Prickles. Or when the energy shifts in a room. How many of you guys know what that feels like? To me, it's a whoop energy drop in the stomach. What's going on here? What just happened? The energy shifted. You can literally feel it within your body. That 6 feet that extends out of your auric field, and that's on a normal day, because there's other days where if you're in an excellent mood and you're feeling extra shiny, it'll extend even further. It can take up the whole room, right? And then there's other people where if they have an unhealthy diet, their mind is in a mess, they're more negative, it shrinks the auric field. And if they have attachments, meaning there's a lot of trauma that's going on in their lives, or even negative energy attachments, it'll be in the auric field. And you can literally feel that when you walk by them. It'll feel like, ooh, right? I'm sure we've all felt that. Well, what do you think that is? That's your auric field melding with theirs, meshing with theirs, bumping up against theirs. And you could feel it in your auric field before it hit the body. Well, that says a lot. How did it register? How did it feel? As a remote viewer, I'm constantly looking for how the energy hits my body. When I'm looking for a missing person case, I know the difference between someone drowning or someone having a heart attack, someone committing suicide, or someone dying like this, asphyxiation. I can tell the difference because of how the information hits my body. I'll feel it in that area. I'll feel the tightness or the energy that comes with, someone being in cardiac distress or being shot. Same thing with if someone is buried or if someone's above ground. Stop and think about that. How does that feel? Just the thought will initiate a response within your body, just thinking about it. That's what I want you to look for when you're dealing with other people. If someone is standing in front of you, pay attention to what their energy is doing to yours, because it'll hit you and you'll feel it. Now, how do you cleanse it? If you have been, or for example, a psychic attack. I am definitely not above a psychic attack. A couple of years ago, I was psychically attacked pretty bad, and it feels like crap when someone does that to you. It makes it feel like your chest is tight, like you can't breathe, you can't sleep. It's like your mind is clouded on thinking about nothing but everything. You can't think straight. What else does it do to you? Oh, it's awful. It kills your appetite. All you want to do is sleep. You're exhausted, but you can't sleep. It messes with you. It really, really messes with you. And it was a very strong psychic attack. So something like saging the energy didn't exactly work. So my friend Christine McKenzie says to me, she says, Patricia, have you not heard of the Defender Shield blanket? And I was like, no, what's that? It's a blanket. I wish I would have brought it as a demo for this class because it is the bomb. Um, anyways, it is made of Faraday material and it completely blocks out everything. It blocks out everything from 5G, radiation, microwaves, everything that is not beneficial to your body, it blocks it out. Well, I noticed that it also blocks psychic attacks. So it makes me wonder exactly what frequency a psychic attack vibrates at, because the minute I got that blanket, I have slept like a baby every night. Nothing gets through with that thing. And I've been asked 4 times in the past 2 weeks about people remote viewing other people without their permission, where they think they're being psychically spied on. How do you protect yourself against psychic spying? Get the Defender Shield blanket, honestly. If you don't know how to block it out yourself, get the best tool that I can suggest is getting that blanket. So when I send out the recording, I will send you guys a link to check out the blanket so you know what I'm talking about. And I don't need to type in the website right now. But yeah, it blocks it. So what is a psychic attack? Marilyn is asking. So a psychic attack is when someone has so much hate and anger for you that they decide to try to manipulate your energy or try to send negative energy at you. Another one that I've heard of people doing, which you gotta realize, you guys, I have nothing to do with paganism, Wiccan stuff, witch stuff, anything that is not me. But there are people that will literally try and put spells on other people or do voodoo and try to harm them or their family. Now, how that stuff works. So before I used to be like, okay, that's not even real. Unfortunately, it is. And I'll explain how it works. I figured it out. I figured out actually how a curse works due to Rife therapy, of all things. So let me explain. So I've got 4 different types of Rife machines. And there's one machine called a Spooky 2 system. And the reason why it's called a Spooky 2 is because Einstein's theory of relativity, I don't know, quantum entanglement. It's all about quantum entanglement. And so it's named after Einstein's theory. But he called it spooky action at a distance, is what he called quantum entanglement. So this machine can take a piece of your fingernail, piece of your hair, or a blood sample. They can put it into the machine, and the frequencies are then being shot at your DNA specimen instead of being hooked up to the machine and having your treatment that way. It literally does it on remote, where it does it to the DNA. Well, anything that changes your DNA or alters DNA, heals DNA, you're going to get it. You're going to feel that. And it does work. It's crazy how this thing works. I was quite astonished. I'd never heard of anything like it. But here's the thing. If you can heal quantumly through quantum entanglement, you can curse someone through quantum entanglement. So you know how you look through history books and stuff, and they'll say that witches said, give me, a piece of their hair and I'll put a curse on them. Or give me, you've got to slice your hand, because they want your DNA. They're after your DNA. What they do is they literally curse the DNA. And it's like putting a matrix of negativity on your DNA. Well, guess what that does? It can get passed down through the bloodline because you carry it in the blood. So until someone comes along and decides to go, not today, Satan, not in my bloodline, it tends to mutate and continue. So Veronica, doesn't the negative energy just bounce back to the sender? No, yeah, if you know what you're doing, yes. If you're shielding, if you're psychically shielding, absolutely it does. Same thing with using something like the Defender Shield blanket. For people who don't know how to psychic shield, that blanket's perfect because you don't have to worry about it. It's just on you and knowing nothing can get through. But if you don't, we'll say you're walking around and you're not wearing a blanket during the day. You have to know how to shield, and that's when it will be sent back to the sender. But if you don't even realize that there's been a curse put on you or your family, you're just going to walk around thinking you just have the weirdest awful luck, right? So Veronica says, I always ask Archangel Michael for protection. Excellent. Yes, I was going to bring up angels and working with angels and asking for their protection. I also have a prayer that my mom gave me. Well, she made me memorize it ever since I was a young child. And I don't know, I've never heard it before other than my mom speaking it. So I don't know if it's one that she made up. But I do have a spiritual warfare prayer that if you are ever, spooked out, freaked out, and you need to clear that energy immediately, or you want to do, like, we'll say a space clearing, I will send that prayer out in the email. Absolutely, Jesus does. That's exactly who I use. When I'm doing any sort of clearings, I say, I rebuke you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. That is my go-to. And it works like this. It really, really works. And the interesting thing is that I know non-believers who have prayed to different deities for protection, for prosperity, whatever, and it doesn't work. The minute you call on the power of the Lord Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, it is immediate. It is immediate. You feel that immediate power go through you. And if there's one thing that this class needs to know in this realm, nothing has authority over you unless you give it. Nothing has authority over you. So never, ever give your sovereignty away. Don't feed into the negativity that is going on out there, because the world is going to feel like it's losing its mind for a while. But this is where we need to come in and be that difference. Be the difference, not only for ourselves, but our family and the people who it's totally 6 degrees of separation and one big ripple effect. We're part of the whole. And if you stop and think of how many lives you have the opportunity to affect in your one lifetime, is pretty huge. Not to put any pressure on you, but it is pretty huge. So the quicker that we wake up to our divinity and activate that on a soul level, the quicker you're going to see the difference in society, in the people around you, all of it. So let's get back to, where was I? On how to raise our vibrations and get out of that. How to regain your power when it has been taken from you. That's a big one. So I'm going to explain a couple of different ways. I had the power sucked out of me one time at a Find Me meeting. So I used to volunteer for a law enforcement group down in Phoenix, Arizona called Find Me. And they have everyone from FBI, search, track, and rescue, cadaver dogs, linguistics specialists, handwriting specialists, body language experts, and 115 psychics that volunteer in order to help locate missing people. And so the very first time I went down to Phoenix for their annual meeting, I was so excited to be there. I was brand new psychic. I don't even know if I had even done a one-on-one reading before, because I ended up actually finding missing people before I ever did a psychic reading for anybody. And so I went down to this meeting and I knew nothing. I didn't know about psychic shielding. I didn't know about, psychic attacks. I knew nothing about that stuff. And I go in, I don't know anybody there. So I'm sitting and I noticed this woman just glaring at me. She's got long dark hair, all dressed in black. And there was people of all faiths, all walks, all, like, I'm telling you, intuition comes in all shapes and sizes, all forms. So it wasn't a whole bunch of angelic people getting together. It was all types of divination. And so this lady, she just started in on me, like glaring, where I could literally feel her eyes no matter how I moved. It was like, ooh, get off me. I could feel it. And so the lady next to me is watching this and she's noticing this, and she kind of taps me on the shoulder and she goes, hey, excuse me, you know what she's doing to you, right? And I'm like, no, but I can feel it and it's awful. Like, it makes you feel dirty almost. And she goes, she's psychically attacking you. She goes, come on, let's go outside. So we go outside and she literally sat there and helped to ground me, put me back in my shoes, because I could feel the tension from that lady. And she says to me, she goes, okay, this is what I want you to do. She goes, you're going to put on your celestial jousting suit. I said, what the heck is that? And she goes, I want you to imagine a golden jousting suit coming down around you. You know, the ones with the javelin, they're on the horse. You know, I don't even know what game that is, but anyways, the suit, the metal suit. And she said, put that down all around you. So I'm like, okay, I got it in my mind, I can see it. She says, now, open the little slit. She goes, and look through the eyes and no one can see you. You can see them, no one can see you. It's return to sender. Whatever arrows she shoots at you, it's literally going to go back to the sender. And I couldn't believe it because it worked. It worked. I felt cleaner, I felt lighter, and I felt grounded. And even though that lady, she left me alone eventually, didn't say a word to me, even after I thought maybe she'd come up to me and introduce herself. Yeah, no. But it didn't matter because it didn't hurt. I was able to change that energy and protect myself. The other thing that I did in that moment was I did call on the power and protection of God. That is my first and foremost go-to. And this isn't about, I don't want to make this about religion. Just because I have a Christian background doesn't mean that everybody's got to be Christians. No, that isn't it. God knows who God is. And as far as I'm concerned, it's way more than a man sitting on a throne. It's a frequency. It's an everything. It's an energy. It is something that's so much greater than us that we cannot even begin to comprehend, but we can plug into. We come from source. We go back to source. We return to source. Darn rights we can plug into source. Of course we can while we're here. So faith has a lot to do with it. It really does. And I'm not talking about religious faith. I'm talking about when you talk to God, do you believe that God talks back to you? That's a big one. And why is it that prayer is talking to God, but when God talks to you, it's insanity? Because that's what we've been programmed to believe. Lessens our faith. Lessens our power. Lessens our connection and our divine birthright. We come here with that connection. Have you ever tried to have a conversation with yourself? Try it. See who's talking to you. Who's talking to you? Step back and observe that conversation. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. When I'm doing my readings, it's not like I'm seeing dead people going through walls. It's not like I'm hearing a man's voice in my head. It's not like that. To me, it sounds like I'm talking to me. It seems like I'm having a conversation with myself. I start asking questions. When I'm picking up information from someone's field of energy, I start asking questions. What am I seeing? What am I feeling? Instantly, I get the answer. Instantly, I do. It just comes in. Try it. Ask and ye shall receive. Right? Try listening and allow the message to come to you. Even if you don't like what you're hearing, you may hear something that you don't want to hear, or the opposite of what you thought you would hear, right? But try listening. Same thing with if you want to connect with a deceased loved one, maybe it's one of your spirit guides or your angels or the big guy himself. I think the easiest way to do that and bridge that connection is to literally go for a drive. Roll up your windows so you don't sound insane talking to God, and turn off the music, turn off your phone, and start talking out loud. Just start talking as you're driving. And start to listen to the bounce back voice that forms in your mind. You'll start to hear a conversation form. Who's talking to you? I'm telling you, it's not just you. Or I wouldn't have found 30 missing people listening to that voice, right? We are constantly receiving and sending signals all day long. It's just who knows how to decipher the information that's held within that grid of energy. Well, the first layer of understanding all this stuff is to understand your energy. The voice within you, what is that connecting to? Because here's the thing, if you're not talking to God and you're not talking to your guides, you're not talking to yourself, who's talking to you? Who's talking to you? It can work both ways. Because the thing is that when we are, you can call it a negative attack, a psychic attack. You can call it a demonic attack. There's many different words for it. Guess what? It starts in the auric field. And you know what happens when you have an energetic Klingon? Because there is absolutely different realms that you can't see. And just because we can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. One of the things that I noticed off of people who have literal entities stuck to their field is that it'll sound like the shitty committee on all day long. They can't shut off their brain, and it's negative. It's got a negative voice to it, like, I gotta quit my job, I hate this, I can't do it. You know what? When we say the words I can't, it's an immediate of energy. It immediately slams the doors on the world of opportunity and possibility. Don't do that. Yes, you can. There's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So if there's a voice telling you you can't, and you're crappy and this and that, and I'm just going to go drink a bottle of rum, step back from that conversation. Who's talking to you? Start to question that. Because it could be an external force trying to get in, because that does happen. It's called energetic coherence when that happens. When that happens, usually a person's been on a pretty low timeline for a while, meaning they've been feeling like crap, they're depressed, they're anxious, they're in grief, anger, lack of forgiveness, all the thing that zaps your energy and leaves you open to that kind of oppression. It's oppression when it's around you. It's possession when it's in you. And that is a thing. That is an energy. So I'm telling you, do not watch that Dahmer movie, because it's opening a field of energy into your home and your consciousness that you don't need. You don't need to spend 10 hours, because it's apparently a binge watch thing. You don't need to spend 10 hours of your life on low energy like that when you want to live your best life, when you want to feel your best and emanate the best energy that you can, because that's what you're here to do, right? What you pay attention to will amplify and manifest in your life every single time. Lisa says, I just watched it. How did it make you feel? How did you walk away feeling from that with what you witnessed? Terrible and yucky. Yeah. Because it's an energy. So that for anybody who hasn't seen it, don't open that up. Because even TV, look at that. Television. It's called a channel for a reason. It's a broadcast system. It's broadcasting an energy out. Be careful what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're letting into your sacred space. When I started guarding that, because yes, programmer, absolutely. You're literally being programmed. Television. They are telling you what your vision should be, what your vision should be, what should be in your head. How often do we watch a movie and then we think about it? Same thing with a book. You read a book and you think about it. So I only read books that will elevate my consciousness. And even the ones that hurt but elevate my consciousness, for anyone who's looking for an amazing book, From Trial to Triumph, A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I'll never forget that book. Such a phenomenal book, how that man, he was a survivor of Auschwitz, and such a powerful book. So if you haven't read that one's a really, really good one as well. But it brings you down into someone else's hell. It does. And sometimes if we're dealing with our own, we don't need to experience anybody else's. It just compiles on that energy. Claire says, so true. We must be so mindful about the images and words we consume. Absolutely. Because it's an energy. It really is. Everything is. So another way to raise your vibration is a really simple one. To raise your vibration, color therapy. I talk about it in my quantum psychic courses. You want to raise your vibration, start wearing the colors you want to feel. So in my wardrobe, I have a lot of white, pink. I don't wear a lot of black or gray unless it's winter, but black and gray serve a purpose as well. But if I want to feel sunny and if I want to feel my best, I don't do my hair for you guys. I don't put my makeup on to look good for you. I do it because I love to feel pretty and put my best face forward. It makes me feel good. That's why I do it. What's your motivation? And if you're not one for self-care, why not? Why can't you put yourself first and start to wear how you want to feel, right? Maybe it is time to treat ourselves to a lighter wardrobe and see how it feels when you do. If I want to feel grounded, protected, and strong, I'll wear black. But if I want to feel light and bright, what colors come to your mind when I even describe that? Yellow, pink, white, the lighter colors. Why? Because it has an energy. I have a very weird brain, and I have something called synesthesia, where I see my letters and numbers and colors. And yes, they have a vibration. Yes, I can feel my colors. I can feel my numbers. I can feel my letters. I can feel if someone's name even is meant for them. It's the weirdest thing in the world. But it's a thing. So I know, because the way my body registers this stuff, that everything has an energy. So I play with it. I experiment with it. Why can't you too? right? Rebecca, it's so good to see you on this class. She says, this resonates so much. Thank you. When helping clients suffering with mental health challenges, I focus on their healing and the light at the end of the proverbial tunnel, no matter where they are at. Yeah, it's amazing when you start to work with colors and use them to uplift you. Even when you're meditating, what colors do you see in your mind's eye? I use a lot of gold when I'm doing meditations or leading meditations. I will say breathe in the gold. Gold has one of the highest frequencies on the planet. It is one of the most precious metals for a reason. It's the frequency that it carries. It is a very divine metal in itself. Same thing with the color. But it's also same thing with green. Green is very healing vibration to it, and purple. Purple is a very spiritual color as well. So it depends on what you want to amplify or work with. Bring in that color. Start wearing that color. So, does anybody have any questions so far? Throw it up in the chat if you do. And if not, okay, I think I talked about a lot of this. What you put in your body. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about energetic protection too for other people in your family and your homes. You can literally create a healing grid of light over your home, over your family. It looks like a blanket of light that you just literally encase your home in and encase your family in. Whoever it is that needs immediate protection, you can call on that blanket of light. We're going to be, I think it's time anyways. It's 8:00. It's time for us to shift our energy and bring in the light and for you to experience it for yourself so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, Samira says, we know we create our future life. So do we in some way create situations of psychic attacks? Okay, let me read that one more time. We know we create our future life. So do we in some way create situations of psychic attacks? Well, I think that everything is here to teach us something. But there's a lot of things that we don't necessarily need to experience. And I think that a psychic attack is a lot of the nastiness that that a person can carry in their heart for another person. And the thing is that your thoughts have power. And thoughts alone can create a psychic attack. It's just to a very small degree, right? I'll put it this way. Just how powerful our thoughts are. I had this one client a few years ago that when she was trying to get in for an appointment with me, she'd always do it in the middle of the night. I don't know if it was the time difference thing or what it was, or if she just had insomnia, but she'd always try it in the middle of the night. And I could literally feel her on my calendar checking, and it would wake me up. Just that, because her concentrated frustration of not being able to get in or having to look for an appointment, I could feel that energy to the point where it would wake me up. Because thoughts are like strings of spider webs that we shoot out of us when we ruminate on someone, or when we really are fixated on a situation. It ties us so deeply into it. It really does. And it also creates a response within our body when we are connecting with that other person and their body. They will feel it. How many times have you thought of someone and then you bumped into them? Or you think of something and then it happens. Someone calls and you pick up the phone. Oh, I was just thinking about you. There's a reason why people pop into our minds. mother's instinct. There's connections there. So if someone is even having, we'll say, I don't know, suicidal thoughts, they can feel that pain. They can share that pain. Thought coherence. When someone is on the same wavelength as you, and I'm not talking about on the same wavelength as the thoughts that person's having, when someone's on the same wavelength as you, same sort of energy, same sort of vibration, but unique, you can get into each other that way. You can also astral travel and go check in on a person that way. If you know their vibration, you know what they feel like, what they sound like. I don't know how else to describe it, because it becomes a visceral response within your body. But when you know a person and their energy, it's very easy to get to them in the astral. It's very easy to stay connected, even if you're on a different side of the world. Think of premonitions, even. So, I don't know. Do we create situations of psychic attacks? I think if we did, it's to learn from them, to grow, to clean up our act, and to help others as well. But I don't necessarily think that we create them on purpose, unless there's something our soul has to learn from it, if that makes sense. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. At the end of the day, forgiveness breaks it breaks contracts like you wouldn't believe. Forgiveness annihilates a lot. So, yeah, Steve, karma maybe. Yeah, and there is karmic dances between people, for sure. Claire says, what is your view of the collective backlash against anyone who tries to offer a point of view regarding COVID and the vaccine? Do you view the backlash as coming from an outside source that is creating something along the lines of a collective psychic attack against those who are here as truth speakers and light workers? I think it's cognitive dissonance. I honestly think that is. I don't know if you heard about this today, but Governor Newsom in California just made it illegal for doctors to speak against what the government's narrative. Oh, dead serious. Yeah, you got to look that up. My jaw was on the floor. He just made it illegal for doctors to go against their narrative. They're calling it misinformation. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. When does the government ever know better than doctors? But let me read that question again. What is your view on the collective backlash? I think that there is something trying to really, really hard control the narrative. But I think at this point, a lot of people can see through the BS, or I would really hope that they can. Because when your sovereignty is being taken away, there's something sick going on. And I hate to say it, but it's the same thing with the government collecting the guns and taking away gun rights from healthy, law-abiding citizens. That's a whole other ballgame. But if you look, these are steps that are slowly taking away our sovereignty. And to me, no, that does not sit well. But I think that there is a big narrative, I think that there is a big plan underneath all of this that the New World Order wants to step in and step into. And the crazy thing is, my parents told me about that. My parents told me about the New World Order back in as young as I can remember. My parents were talking about this stuff. So to live through it, my dad said to me, my dad's been dead almost 20 years, but he said to me, he says, you mark my words, this will happen in your lifetime. And I'm like, nah, whatever. I just thought my dad was a conspiracy theorist. Oh, I'm eating those words. Because I couldn't believe what's come to pass. I'm sure this is all beyond what any of us could have ever thought of. if we were to rewind and go back to like 2015, 16, 17, 18, I can't believe how quickly and horribly our reality shifted. So I just think that I think that there's a lot of evil that will be unveiled, and people will have a choice what to believe. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. People have a right to believe in whatever they want to believe. At the end of the day, there's nothing we can do other than be ourselves. We cannot shove our opinion down anyone's throat. We can't. If we're asked our opinion, great. But if we're not, and it's not that we need to keep it to ourselves. It isn't that. We need to educate each other graciously and with love and compassion and understanding that no matter where you are on the side of the fence or the debate, no one's wrong, no one's right, no one's wrong. It's all perspective, and it's all according to each other's experiences and what we choose to experience in this lifetime. Okay, Marilyn, just a quick question about understanding people's energy and what their energies say. Not sure what the question was there. Does this feel like a planetary psychic attack? Yeah, it's definitely cognitive dissonance and some sort of disruption, for sure. But like Steve says, don't buy into their fear porn. I absolutely agree. We can't. That's why it's like we got to just, here's the thing. Yes, I've been on Jason Shurka's channel and stuff. I don't watch him. I don't watch any of those people. And I have so much peace. I spend my time listening to binaural beats and walking my dogs, and I do paint by numbers. I know that sounds silly, but I love it. I love paint by numbers. I can't paint myself, so paint by numbers it is. Find your joy outside of YouTube, outside of people who like to elicit that kind of response, because so far they've been wrong. People were saying something about September 24th, and I was asked about that on my YouTube channel. They're like, what about September 24th? I'm like, what about it? So I tuned in, and I didn't see anything happening on September 24th. And these people that are predicting doomsdays, please don't fall for that. Oop, I dropped my water. Please don't fall for that stuff. Yeah, Veronica, the school systems. I agree with you. There's a lot that's going on in Canada right now. There's a lot. Hopefully Trudeau won't get away with this stuff much longer, because I think Canadians have had enough. Windows. What does it mean when a person's energy is coming on too strong? Is that manipulative energy? Not necessarily, because I have very strong energy, and my energy is not necessarily for everyone else, and it's not that I'm trying to manipulate anybody. Sometimes I'm just too much for people, right? So it's not necessarily manipulative, but it's what's their intention behind it, because I get excited and I'm like, and people are, but if someone is coming on like this, that's another story. Yes, it's the same thing with, I'm very consciously aware of never standing over someone when I'm speaking to them, because it gives off the energy of empowerment or belittling, so it really depends on what context the person's energy is being used in, if that makes sense. Steve, we've just passed critical mass, so we're just watching the end of the greatest movie. Yep, I agree. Fire signs versus water signs. Too funny. Okay, let's shift our energy. Because if there's one reason why you came to this class, understanding energy is one thing, but let's shift ours to a much higher channel than the one that we are operating on. It's a lot more simple than you think it is. The power of meditation is a really, really, really cool thing. Especially if, so I'm just going to close the chat so that doesn't distract me. And I am just going to put on my favorite binaural beats music. Hopefully it's not too loud. Hang on, bear with me. Okay. Can everybody hear that? Just let me know if you can hear that. Throw that up in the chat. I hope my voice is not cutting out. I hope I fixed the problem. Perfect, because I had issues with that in my other class. So, okay, let's do this. So I want you to just get comfortable. Sit back, lie back. Close your eyes. And let's just begin to breathe intentionally. Beautiful golden life force energy. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Quieting your mind from the thoughts of today. Turning off the noise of the outside world. And as you breathe in through your nose, I want you to see this golden light begin to pour down through your torso, all the way to your toes. Inhale it back up through your legs. And exhale it out through the crown of your head. Seeing this beautiful golden light pouring down like a torus of energy all around you. Wrapping it under your feet. See your body begin to radiate. Breathe it in further now. In through the layers, tissues, and muscles. All the way to the cells of your body. And just allow that divine light to begin to fill every part of you. Every cell, every inch, see your skin begin to glow with a beautiful golden radiance. And with every breath, allow yourself to simply let go of all heaviness, all burdens, all worries simply melt away as you continue to breathe in and allow your body to vibrate with this golden energy. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to call upon your guardian angels, our Almighty Creator, and the highest healing realms to come down and create the perfect sacred space for you to heal and release what no longer serves you. So in your mind's eye, look around the room and feel who has come to assist you in this healing journey. And as you look around, you see a hand outstretched to you. The hand of your heavenly angel. Take their hand and allow yourself to rise from this earthly realm, feeling the arms of your angels around you. With every breath, rising higher and higher, until you reach the perfect stillness. That space in between worlds. With your angels' arms around you. Allow them to take you to their healing realm, to recalibrate your light, to release what no longer serves this lifetime and all lifetimes. So as you walk into this beautiful portal of light, see a brilliant beautiful sun burst in front of your eyes as you come through to this sacred space. Feel the warmth of that golden sun as you softly land on a beach of pure white sand, shoreline for miles. The water glistening in the sun. You have been to this place before. So in your mind's eye, look around. What do you see? The palm trees, the birds overhead. And off in the distance, way up on the beach, there is someone walking towards you. One of your great ancestors. Have come to help heal and transmute all lower dimensions from your cells, from your DNA. So welcome them. And as you do, give them a huge hug. Taking a big, deep breath, expanding that love all through your body. Take the hand of your ancestor and allow them to lead you to the waterfall of healing. This beautiful place with water that shimmers like diamonds in the sun. Allow them to lead you to the highest, most healing energy. And in your mind's eye, I want you to go under this waterfall. Bringing all your worries, wash them in your hands under the waterfall. Let's transmute all heaviness from what we must face. I want you to see yourself bathing in a waterfall of light. I want you to breathe that in to every part of you. Breathe in the healing in through your mind. And allow it to activate the greatest channel for doors of opportunity and creativity. Washing away all blocks from inspiration. See it melting off you, washing the dirt away. Now I want you to bathe your shoulders. Feel as that energy slides all heaviness right off your back. Now scoop up that water and bring it to your heart. Breathe it in and expand it, allowing it to heal all grief held within the cellular memory of your lungs. See the water washing away, clarifying your mind, body, and soul. Now let us wash our liver. In your mind's eye, pull your liver out of your body and wash it under that waterfall of healing light. Washing away all anger. Bitterness simply melts away. You can wring it out like a sponge. And when it wrings out clean, put it back inside of your body. And breathe in a divine ray of forgiveness of self and of others. Now allow your cells to become scrubbed clean in these healing waters. Transmuting all pain into strength and sovereignty. Activating all dormant DNA for all gifts of our ancestors. Activating the brilliance that lies within our blood. And coating us in pure protection. As we do and fulfill our mission. See your body vibrating with pure golden gifts completely activated. Your higher mind awakened and connected within every cell of your body. Activating your inner knowing. You know who you are, and you know how you serve. So as you cleanse all sorrow from you, feel yourself come alive with vibrancy, with grace, and the will to go after your dreams. So as you come from these healing waters, notice the ancestors who have joined you here. They take their sins back and they give you their gifts. And they bless you on your journey to awakening, to happiness, and to the journey. So take another nice, big, deep, refreshing breath in, filling it all the way to the top, and blow out pure faith, knowing that you are activated, you are blessed, you are healed, and you are whole. Slowly bringing your awareness back down into the earthly realm. Feeling yourself settle back into your body. And bringing your hands to your heart. Just take another nice, deep breath. And just allow yourself to slowly come back to the screen. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I apologize, we went a little bit over in time. But if there's any questions that you have, I'm here. if you want to throw them up, or if you just need that extra time to meditate and just stay in this sacred energy. You can always log off and continue with your own meditation because you're recalibrated. Understand that the greater is He who is in me than he who is in the world. And that applies to you too. The energy that you have activated and that you have become one with and healed and let go of, just allow it to take form in your life. Allow yourself to forgive what is hard to forget. It's time. It's the most delicious way to live when you live happy. So I wish you happiness. I thank you for joining me here tonight. And hopefully I will see you at my next class. I can't think of when it is. It is going to be, I think, a guided meditation online. I do have them in person as well. And yes, Claire, I will share my favorite binaural beats links in the email, as well as my mom's prayer. It's really good. And if you say it with authority, it makes anything scatter. It is amazing. And I never thought I'd be sharing such a personal prayer. Like, it's embedded in me. So I know it will work for you too. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Oh, Cindy, I just caught that before I was gonna log off. How can you truly forgive someone? It's tough. It's really tough. There's a lot of evil out there. So how do you truly forgive someone? And when do you know that you have? I'll tell you something. When you no longer have a physiological response to the stimuli, meaning you're no longer triggered by what hurt you, it no longer has a hold over you or your heart. So for me, forgiveness, I've gotten pretty good at it. I like to forgive because there's no point in hanging on to it. Really, there is no point in hanging on to it. It's like swallowing poison and expecting the other person to die. It's pointless. Why hurt yourself? Why hold on to that? So what I do, honestly, if someone has really done me wrong, I forgive them. But I will also walk away and allow them to feel my absence. Because if by the time you walk away, how do I explain that? Some people don't deserve a seat at your table, period. They just don't. And so those people, don't entertain them. Don't. But if it's someone that you have to entertain, like we'll say family or, people that you can't avoid, transmute the energy, kill them with kindness. Because the person with the loudest energy always wins. So if you're up against a very negative person, you have to be very positive to transmute that, because eventually they're going to look like the jerk, not you, right? Be the mirror for them. Teach them. Yeah, that makes sense? Okay, excellent. Well, Ho'oponopono, yes, I love the Hawaiian prayer of forgiveness. Lisa, yes, my mom is like this, so negative, and I struggle to protect myself from her energy. My mom was really negative as well, so that is a really tough one. So limit your time with her. That's the other thing. Like, if you have to be around negative people, limit your time with them. Shield up. There's so many different ways that you can shield up. You know, power of prayer, setting a grid around you of protection, um, you know, using different crystals to keep you grounded and stuff. But if it's someone that's constantly in your face, it's really tough. It is. Shower them with forgiveness and love. Show them that they're the ones that need a behavioral shift or an energy shift. Ah, okay. Steve says many times I just say shields. Excellent, shields. And it pops up like that, I'm assuming. Instant. Excellent. Call upon that power to transmute it. Remember that you don't walk alone. So if you're finding it hard to transmute energy or to deal with someone, always ask for protection. Always ask for their guidance. Every morning I say to my angels, guard, guide, and protect me, you know, and lead me, show me what these people need to know. Use me as an instrument of your peace. And then it comes. It just does. So I hope that helps. And now I've definitely kept you guys too long. So Veronica, yes, faith. Faith is huge. Huge. Even if you have the faith of a mustard seed and you're moving mountains, you are. So absolutely. Keep it up. Okay, guys. I love you, and I will see you at the next meditation. Take care. Bye for now.